Hello, 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 everybody. My name is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess of Los Angeles, California. I help to establish the community one house at a time. Have you ever thought of buying a foreclosure because you've heard that they are great deals and you can get them for a steal? Well, today that is what we're going to talk about because I get a lot of questions about that. Before we dive into our content, let me share with you that I do deal with REOs, which is real estate owned properties. I deal and list properties that have been foreclosed upon. So I do have some experience in this, and I want to give you some tips and tricks and let you know what you can expect when you are looking at foreclosed homes, because it's not as easy or as perfect as you would think that it is. So let's dive right in, guys. First of all, what is a foreclosure? A foreclosure is a home that the current owner, the person who took out the loan on the house, obtained a loan and they defaulted. That means they stopped paying their mortgage, they got behind. The bank had to take it back into their own inventory. So the bank has to prepare that house, take care of evicting that person in some cases, not all cases, and then they have to put the house on the market. Hello, how are you? Thanks for coming in. It looks like my Periscope is working, which is absolutely awesome. Thanks for coming in, guys. I'm on several different platforms tonight. So listen, guys, let's chat a little bit more about this. Now, most people come to me and they go, oh, I just want a list of foreclosures because I want a bargain. Guess what? Those days are pretty much over right now. Now, in 2006, 2007, bank-owned homes were pretty popular, and there was so much inventory for them that you could get a deal. You really could get a deal. In Denver, Colorado, because I was licensed there first, you literally would drive down brand new neighborhoods that were only 2 years old, and every other house you would see a sign up that said foreclosed. So at that time, the inventory was so much, the bank was willing to get rid of the inventory off of their books to cut their losses. Now, times have changed and banks have gotten smarter. We are now in 2019. And the banks are really looking to get the most out of their inventory. They know what the houses are worth. They have their strategies down, and there are things that they are looking for within an offer. So let's talk about five. Let's talk about 5 ways that you need to look at buying a foreclosed home. Number 1, find an agent that specializes in foreclosures. Best way, find word of mouth. Second way, contact me. I will help you with someone in your area. Very easy to find me. I'm at www.laurakey.net, LAURAKEY. That's how you can reach me. But there are also special designations for people for agents who choose to deal with foreclosed homes, and one of them is called the Certified Distressed Property Expert, and that is CDPE. CDPE. Or you can deal with someone who deals with short sales and foreclosures, and that is SFR. Okay, now don't get that SFR confused with single family residence, because that is not what that designation is. Okay, now a buyer can work directly with the bank's real estate agent, because they hire us to do so, to save on money. If you don't want to go directly to a buyer's agent, it is okay for us to double in those deals, and we know a little bit more about what's going on in the background. Do we have the ultimate power when we are the listing agents on the bank's choosing an offer? No. So please don't be lulled into that. The bank is looking at their bottom line. Okay, the bank is looking at their bottom line, and that's what they're really depending on. There's a certain number that they are looking for to make their numbers work. Now, listen, they don't tell us that as the agents. We don't know what that magic number is. It would be a much easier world if we did, but we do not. So please don't expect the agent to know. We can tell you previous rejected offers and their amounts to help give you an idea of what you should come in at. But an experienced agent will tell you exactly what I just told you. You can work with the listing agent. They do have a little bit more of a push for getting your offer accepted, but it is not guaranteed. Number 2, if you are using a loan, please make sure you do not put in an offer with a pre-qual. The bank wants to see a solid pre-approval letter. So you really do need to come with your offer with a directly underwritten letter. That means you're pre-approved, but an underwriter has already looked at your loan, and basically what you're doing is you're looking for a house to hurry up and get the keys to. You've been through the major process, okay? So you want to get a pre-approval letter. Please don't even come to the bank with anything less. They will not accept it. Understand? And it also separates you from other looky-loos, okay? Pre-approval letters details how much money you can borrow. They're based on what your lender said. So see, you're giving the banks an insight to how this transaction is going to work, and if it's going to be a bumpy ride or if it's going to be a smooth ride. Number 3, look at comps before making an offer. Critical. Your agent needs to know what is selling in that neighborhood. Is the REO overpriced? Yes, sometimes we do have REOs that are way overpriced. And so therefore you don't want to get into something that's already overpriced that may need also a lot of work, okay? So a good agent is going to be able to run comps for you. What does this involve? This means that they're going to look at the sold properties for the last 3 months up to a year, depending on how the neighborhood is, to make sure that you're not overpaying or putting in an offer too high for a property. Extremely important. You must know, if you are an investor, what your bottom line is and know your formula, your return of interest, okay? If you don't know that and you're starting off already high, you're already going to be out of pocket. Number 4, bid the higher price if other foreclosures are selling quickly in the neighborhood. Sometimes the banks put a price on it that's a little bit lower than what the neighborhood is, and then you have a bidding war. And another thing, guys, do not put in lowball offers. Just do not do it. It's a waste of time. I have had people come in and put in offers for $150,000 on a house that is priced at $500,000. The banks will not look at that. They will not entertain that. They do not care to see that, and they think it's a joke. The banks are in the business of getting this inventory out of their stocks. So therefore, it's not that kind of market anymore. Please do not try it. If it sounds like I'm being stern, it is because I am, because I actually see the comments from the bank when they see these offers, and they don't even entertain them. And a lot of times the buyer will think, well, they'll just counter me. Banks don't have time for that. They really don't. They will only counter you if you're close to their number and they want to counter you on their terms. Please make note of that. Number 5, be prepared to buy a foreclosed home in as-is condition. This is critical, y'all. The bank is not going to pay attention. Hi, Dr. Tammy. Thanks for coming in. The bank is not going to pay any attention to things that don't matter. So what if you don't like the kitchen? Guess what? They're going to tell you have a good time remodeling that. Now, the only time that they will take into consideration any kind of repairs, if it's something that it's major health and safety, they may take a look at that. But otherwise, they will not. They will not look at that. They will not fix anything. They are not in the business of fixing and flipping on their own, although some banks are now doing that. So be prepared. Now, when you're in escrow or under contract with these foreclosed homes, you still have the option of doing a home inspection. Okay, you can still do a home inspection. You also, hey, David, good to see you, my love. I'm on a big lull here for some reason. My phone and iPad are updating. So if I miss your comments, my loves, please know it's just because I don't see them all right now. There's a little bit of a glitch, and I will watch the replay and answer you as well. So, guys, you do have the option of doing a home inspection, which is critical. You really and truly should do a home inspection. That's another topic for another day, but I am big on that. And you still have that opportunity to check out the house. So is buying a foreclosed home a good idea? Well, it depends on the home. It depends on the area. It depends on the price. There are a lot of variables that can make a deal or a deal, not a money pit, and you do not want to get into that, right? Hey, Karen, how are you, my love? Thanks for coming in. You'll just charge me later. Okay, no problem. I'll take you up on that. I'll get you a coffee. We'll go out for coffee. So, guys, let me explain to you a couple of things about foreclosures that people don't always understand. The company that I work for, we deal with REOs. We service a lot of loans for other banks, and when they are foreclosed upon, they hire us as the agents to represent that home, to put the sign in the yard, to take the offers, to do the research, to sometimes evict people, do the property check, get it in order, rekey. Oh, we do so many things, guys, for the REOs. Now, there are two types of foreclosures. One is HUD, which is Housing Urban Development. How does a house go back to the government? Well, if the person has purchased the home with an FHA loan and they defaulted on that, the government guaranteed that if that person defaulted, that they would take back that house from the lender who allowed that loan to go through. This is how the government gets HUDs, and there is a special site just for HUDs. Now, the good thing about HUDs is 99% of the time, unless someone is squatting in them, they're empty. And first, they present them to people who are actually going to live there, owner occupied. And then if no one purchases within that time frame of offering it to buyers that want to live there, they will offer it to investors, okay, at that time. Now, the second way of foreclosure is if a regular bank or a credit union forecloses on a home because someone has defaulted, they will take it back into their inventory. So there are a few different types of foreclosures. If you want to see only government foreclosures, you can go to www.hudhomestore.com. I do have a broadcast that talks about that as well. You can look through my broadcast and we will talk about that as well, and you'll see the difference. And then, guys, you need to be prepared. Realize that a lot of these banks are looking at their bottom line. There are many different ways to buy a foreclosure. Sometimes the bank will just put it on the market with the listing agent. And many times now, the banks are turning to the auction platform. This changes the game when you are buying foreclosures, because you're dealing with the auction platform. And one thing is, you are pretty much going to pay a premium percentage for buying that home. An example of that is if you win the bid for the auction, you have to pay. Hi, Big Mantlers. Good to see you, my love. Thanks for being here. See, it says I'm missing comments. I hate that. I'm so sorry, my loves. I'm so sorry. So guys, when that happens, you have to pay a 5% premium. So if you think you're getting a deal, you may not be getting a deal. You need to run these numbers and know that you're going to have to pay that 5%. And in many cases, guys, a lender is not going to put that 5% into your loan. You've got to bring it to the table. So remember, the auctions are not always the best. You're going to pay premium to do that, okay? And then, guys, a lot of the times the ones that are being auctioned are not vacant. So therefore, you, Mr. Buyer, may not have the opportunity to do a home inspection. You need to take good care of that, right? Yes, it is a fixer. We'll talk about the 203K. Yes, definitely we'll talk about that. So please know that when you're doing the auctions, you're going to pay the premium, and you may need to come out of pocket for that, okay? And then if it's not vacant, you will have to deal with the foreclosure of people. Now, I don't know about you and what state you're in, but I'm talking about California. Evicting someone can be expensive, especially if it's in a rent-controlled area. And a lot of the times the tenants are angry and they may really do more harm to the home, and it can get pretty pricey relocating people. Be aware. Now, Miss Karen mentioned something very important that I do love to talk about, because if you are buying a foreclosed home and you're using an FHA, you're a first-time buyer, there is a home loan called a 203K. It's a renovation loan, and it will allow you to borrow up to a certain amount for the market of the home. And you cannot build McMansions with it. There are strict guidelines with it that will allow you to fix the home. These are extremely popular when it comes to the HUD homes as well, because most of them definitely need work. But the 203 renovation loan is excellent. You still get the 3.5% down for that. And then it does get a little clammy, guys, because there's a lot of work that goes into using those 203K loans. You have to get bids from people. They have to be licensed contractors. You have to turn all of that into your lender. When the work is done, the lender will come out and inspect. They will also come out and make sure that they get the original receipt, those type of things. And one day we're going to talk about 203K loans because it's really important. And I'm going to pull in one of my experts that can talk to you about the 203, and we will have a great time that day talking about that. Two, guys, if you're not using an FHA, yes, you can get a loan that is considered a rehab loan, but you need to understand this. Your interest rates are going to be higher, okay? When you are using the renovation loans, your interest rates are going to be higher. Now, how that works out, guys, is typically once the house is done, within a 6-month period to a year period, your lender will continue to look at the values of the neighborhood and they may refinance you to a lower rate. Now, Miss Karen is asking about a silent second. That is only, my love, with the HUD homes, basically, if you're using the Good Neighbor Next Door program, that's the 50% off of houses program. Now, I can't answer for all the different types of loans that are out there because there are so many. But in some cases, they will give you a silent second until they get everything put together. But honestly, you have to pay that back. Okay, so they may put your interest on hold until you're finished with the home and then look at your numbers and refinance you. So there are many different ways that you can plan on buying a foreclosed home. Be prepared to do extra work because it is extra work, and please do not choose an agent who doesn't have the experience. Now listen, I'm not about bashing no agents, okay? I'm all about helping and working with other agents to get home keys in your hand. But if you're working with someone who's inexperienced with this, you could be putting your hands into dangerous waters in the fact that you could lose your earnest money. So you want to make sure that they understand all the rules and regs, and they may not understand that there's a 5% premium if you're doing auctions. So you want to make sure that you're working with someone who's experienced. You're so welcome, Miss Karen. I'm so glad you're here. So guys, that's what I have for you tonight, talking about buying foreclosed homes. It's one of the most common questions that I get here in California because properties are so high here. There is a risk, there is extra work, and if you don't do it properly, you could lose money. But done right with a really good team, you definitely can get a bargain and make it work for you. Now listen, guys, I have about 3 lenders that I work with that are absolutely excellent. If you are a current homeowner, did you know you can leverage the home that you have right now to buy a second home? But is it a good idea to do so? That's where I come in. That's where my team comes in to help you build your wealth. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to me and I will get you hooked up with one of my excellent lenders that will walk you through the process and ask the tough questions to see if you're ready. So guys, my name is Laura Key. I am the Realty Goddess of Los Angeles, California. Today we talked about buying foreclosures, and I'm going to give you a quick recap of 5 steps to buying a foreclosed home. Number 1, find an agent specializing in foreclosures. Number 2, get a pre-approval letter. Not prequel, not prequel, not prequel. Number 3, look at the comps. Look at the comps of the home before making the offer. Number 4, bid higher if other foreclosures in the areas are selling fast. This is an indication that the bank is not going to take your lowball offer. Don't think so. Seen it too many times in my career. I don't think I could tell you one time where I thought that someone was like, oh my God, they got this at like 50% off, only in the special programs. But I've never had someone who put in a lowball offer ever get accepted. I've been in the business since 2006. Number 5, be prepared to buy a foreclosure in as is condition. And this includes any extras if it's an auction, any extra fees or anything like that. Hi, Mystery. Thanks for coming in, my love. I'm so glad you're here. And that is the 5 steps. Guys, thank you for joining me tonight. I really appreciate the hearts, the conversation, the love, and the shares. I will go back and watch the replay. So if I've missed any comments, I will reach back out to you. I just hope that your Twitter handle is the same as Periscope and other platforms that I'm streaming from right now. But if you don't hear from me and you did have a question, you can reach me at www.laurakey.com. Simple as that. No, laurakey.net. Oh, Lala, get it together, girl. I'm coming back off of vacation. So let's put this here where you can find me. Right there. And then that way, you see that right there. Simple as that. Reach out to me at laurakey.net, also known. I just let Obama buy me a house. Okay. Okay. I love coming on here. We have so much fun, guys. But that is how you can reach me, guys, over there at laurakey.net. Thank you so much, David. I appreciate you putting that up as well. Guys, I wish you nothing but love, light, and blessings. Why not go out on a limb, y'all? Isn't that where the fruit is? Yeah, it is. Go be a good human. World's dark enough. Shine your light. You never know when a smile is going to save somebody's life. Sugar.